The real risk here is to pregnant women, and it's extraordinarily unusual to discover a new cause of a major fetal malformation. The last time this happened was more than 50 years ago. So I'm quite concerned about what we can do to protect pregnant women and reduce the number of children born with microcephaly or other complications.
CDC Director Thomas Frieden speaking with C-SPAN about the primary concerns he and the CDC have over the rapid spread of the Zika virus. Zika is linked to causing the birth defect microcephaly in pregnant women. Microcephaly is a serious birth defect of the brain, which causes a baby's head to be smaller than expected. With now over 50 cases in 13 different states across the country, President Obama set to ask Congress for $1.8 billion to help combat the virus. For more, we are pleased to be joined by Newsmax Health editor Nick Tate. Nick, also the author of the Baby Boomer Survival Guide, Da Vinci's Baby Boomer Survival Guide. And Nick, so glad you could join us to help explain this, because it is scary out there. A lot of people are seeing this on the news, and the virus seems really to have popped out of nowhere. It's mostly spread by mosquitoes. There's no vaccine to prevent infection or medicine to treat Zika. Why is it difficult to fight this disease?
Well, in fact, Zika's been around since the 40s. We've known about it, but it did not affect humans in great numbers until fairly recently. It's difficult to fight because, as you say, there is no vaccine, there really is no treatment, and there is no test. Now, we are in a kind of full-scale health crisis mode here, with the World Health Organization calling this a global health emergency, CDC advising pregnant women not to travel to Latin America and the Caribbean and other places where Zika is common, and it may, in fact, according to the U.S. Olympic Committee, it may affect the Games in Rio next August. So contrast this with the CDC's response to Ebola last year, which was to drag their feet and say it's no big deal. This is a very aggressive warning to people to be careful if you're going to areas of the world, or indeed areas of this country where these mosquitoes are present.
Well, that's kind of an interesting point, Nick, because the president actually made a point before Super Bowl, on Super Bowl Sunday, to say this isn't like Ebola. So how concerned should Americans be about this disease?
Well, the truth is that the primary focus is on pregnant women because of the potential for Zika causing birth defects in unborn babies. But the truth is that Zika can make almost anybody sick. Anybody who's bitten by a mosquito that can spread Zika does come down with a cold, a flu-like symptoms for about a week, fever, aches, and pain, so it really can affect everyone. The concern is that as we get to the warmer months and people begin travel in winter to places like the Caribbean and Latin America, we're going to see an explosion in the number of cases. So far, as you say, there have only been 50 U.S. people who have been affected. They've been infected from traveling to other places in the world, but as the warm spring months warm up here, we're going to see cases, I think an explosion of cases, particularly in border states like Florida and Texas. So I think officials are right to be sounding the alarm as loudly and as early as they are.
And this is a major scare for women who are thinking about getting pregnant. And that really raises the question, can an infected woman who's not pregnant when she has the virus still be at risk to have future pregnancies with birth defects?
Well, this is the thing about Zika. There are many uncertainties. The expectation is that the virus can live in the blood for some period of time. It's one reason why there's a suspicion that blood transfusions may in fact be a way that Zika can spread. So the implication is, if you're infected with this virus, like many other viruses, it can stay in your blood even if you are not pregnant, and at some future date you do become pregnant. It could cause birth defects. So because there's no treatment, it really is important to take those steps you can, precautions, to prevent being bitten by a mosquito.
It was fascinating how the world community came to come up with a Ebola vaccine. There is no vaccine or treatment right now for Zika. So what's the best way to protect yourself from the Zika virus?
Well, the first precaution is if you're pregnant or expected to be pregnant, don't travel to an area of the country, Latin America, Caribbean, where it is common. Secondly, you can use insect repellents. Consumer Reports just this week put out a list of the best ones. And do all those things you can to protect yourself from mosquito bites, which also knock down West Nile virus and other mosquito-borne diseases.
All right, very much a scare, but Nick Tate, you always break it down for us. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Nick Tate joining us right now from our newsroom. This reminder, if you want to weigh in anything you heard tonight, it's easy to do. Send your comments into newsmaxtv.com/comments. JD will be back tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for watching Newsmax Prime.